What's going on, everybody? Travis with RAC Garage back at you. This is probably the third video in a row. I'm on a roll, I guess you would say. Okay, so I'm actually kind of trying to finish this deck lid. I don't know about this week. It's already Wednesday. I didn't record Monday, Tuesday. Dropping the ball. Okay, so show what you got going on. So I think I'm gonna have to take you off of the stand. So this is my first time fully making an inner structure. Very complicated. And at this point, I'm not charging him because it's getting too out of control. So, you know, sometimes you got to do that stuff. So first off, I made the inside. I just wanted to get most of it done as possible. So I made the center, which was, you know, I wouldn't say a mistake, but I should have saved this for last. So I got the beads in here, kind of like factory. They're a little smaller than factory. These holes are a little smaller than factory, and this is a little smaller, but it's covered by the rumble seat. Really has no consequence. So I made the center, and then I made the edges, I think. No, I made the center, then I made this piece here, and then I made the corners, which were very difficult. I tried to make them factory looking, and they are factory looking, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, this does not have to be factory looking at all, because it doesn't matter. So, you know, I got carried away, but so I made these, I made the corners, and I made the edges. Then, come to find out, somehow these sides, or maybe even these corners, got welded on a little too wide. So, I started making the bottom, because that was the next logical step, the bottom and the two corners. So I made these in one piece, and made them to fit, sounds obvious, but made them to fit the opening with like a 1/4 inch gap around the whole trunk lid, and that fits great. Obviously there's no channel here because it's a rumble seat. I can't like sit it in there. I can kind of sit it on the top, but it's different because there's no latch here, so kind of can't really get the gist of it there. But this piece is the way I want it to fit. The rest of it is not, and I tried to just like, you know, hammer the edge to be in more, hammer the corner down. I'm still not getting what I want. So unfortunately, I think it's come to the point where I'm gonna have to cut here, cut here. I might have to cut over and down back through here. I'll leave this center portion because it doesn't have to change, but I'll cut this corner back out and down, and I'll move it in wherever I need to move it in. I was thinking about cutting just this whole center back out of it, making the outer perimeter, but I don't think it's necessary for me to make this cut in here, so I'm not going to do it. It's a lot of weld. I already have, geez, another, I don't know, 5-6 feet of weld right there alone. So plus this one, a lot more work I got to do, but it's my fault, you know. And if I'm making the inner, I was talking to Jacob about this, I'm like, if I'm making the inner from scratch, why would I make it not fit, you know? Like, why would I just be like, it is what it is. I made the whole thing, so why the hell doesn't it fit? So I gotta make it fit. And then we just gotta skin it. Skinning is the easy part compared to making the inner. And you know, the inner doesn't have to be 110% perfect, because as long as the outer skin can wrap around, and I can either tack it or hem it to the inner, and it flows with the top of the body, then I'm happy. Like, the inner could be lower down here, but as long as the skin's welded so it's nice and flush, you know, it's all that matters, is that the inner skin the outer skin fits to the body nicely. So yeah, I got some stuff to do. Unfortunately, I think I just need to bite the bullet and cut this apart and kind of redo it. I can use all the pieces, I just welded it too far out. So whatever, is what it is. While I'm recording, I think I'll just show you a couple other things that I have in the shop now that might be interesting to you guys. So for one, got an axle dropping jig. I didn't show you making it because, you know, Bennett's got a video on it, LG's got a video on one. I think Traditional Rod and Custom, or Trad Rods, I forgot his name. He wants to make one. He's going to be putting a video up. So, you know, there's enough of these out. I don't think you guys need to see mine. So it works. I'll show you some stuff here. I'm not going to show you 37 yet. There's some stuff on it you didn't see in the last video. We'll get to that. So here's some axles. 3 Model A axles we did so far. You order up first, second, and third. And as you can tell, we were kind of getting the science down of stretching them. So this last one is only, I think it's an inch shorter than stock. I don't remember if it's an inch shorter on each side or if it's just an inch shorter total. I'll have to confirm that. But I do need to get a larger press separate from the, you know, axle drop and jig, so I can straighten these out and, you know, fix them up before we drop them. We only had 3 good axles out of our like 12 that we had. Most of them were tweaked a little bit, so we only got to drop a few, and I have the 32 heavy on there. I'm just kind of hesitant to drop it because it's an expensive axle and I don't want to mess it up, so haven't done that. But yeah, I'll show you upstairs. So I can't show you the 32 Roadster. There's a long story there, but the short answer of it is the guy who was going to paint it was going to charge me way too much. Like, we didn't even talk about price, and he said, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out. And he threw me a don't figure it out, like, he threw me a price that was like not a kind of price that you say, oh, don't worry, we'll figure it out kind of thing. It was like a show car paint job for what I needed, and pretty much did that after he primed it and wanted an astronomical amount of money for the prime job. So I pretty much blew the budget on the prime job. It's a messed up story. I'm not going to get into it, but that's kind of the gist. It's still at his shop because I can't afford to get it back yet. It's a mess. So you won't be seeing that for a while until I can get some cash and get it back. But the rest of the stuff is here. So this is what the upstairs is looking like right now. It's kind of a mess, but it's kind of neat at the same time. So I just mocked up this random 3 window I have, random parts. This one I've been trying to sell. You know, I don't know if any of you have been trying to sell things. Literally nobody is buying anything. Nothing. It's insanity. When I first got it, like, I'm new relatively to this hot rod stuff, and when I first got into it, like, you post anything up for sale on Instagram, it was gone. But anything up on Facebook, gone. Like, you wouldn't even have to wait a week. That stuff was gone. And now, like, and when it was gone for like top dollar every time. Now, like, you can't give the stuff away. But the thing is, more people are getting into it, but you still can't give it away. I don't understand. It's like, I don't know what's going on here. Even like 32 3-window stuff. I've been trying to sell a package of 32 3-window stuff to make a body and some crickets. Haven't heard, like, maybe 2 people were interested, and then they said, oh, well, I don't have any money. Okay, cool. I do that sometimes just to kind of get a feel of what he's got. Kind of feel bad about it sometimes, but I'm on the receiving end of it now, and it kind of sucks. And then, what else? And then I tried to split it up, and like, hey, I got a bunch of 3-window sheet metal. If you need any parts, you know, let me know. I'll split the lot up. Nothing. I think one guy was interested in a set of quarters, and then if I'm not going to sell a set of quarters out of the lot and then no one buys anything, I'm just short a set of quarters on my body now. So I decided not to do that. It's just crazy to me. Crazy. I don't understand. And the Model A, Kelly's Model A that she was going to build, that 29, it was supposed to be part of the Flip series, and she decided she wanted it. So we were going to start building it, and then we realized that we have all these 32 3-windows that could be built, and, you know, we're deciding now that we're just going to build one of those instead. Why waste the time? Not that Model A's are not cool, I'm not saying that at all, but if we have 32 3-windows, let's build one of those. It's, you know, skip the Model A because we're going to build it, sell it, and then build the other one. Let's just sell it now, not waste any time on it, and build her the 3-window. And, like, I can't even give that away. A really nice body on a really nice frame that we built and painted. Like, it's pretty much done. Not for a show car or anything, but like a nice home-built hot rod. Like, you don't need to touch the chassis. It's got juice brakes on it already, motor and trans mounts. It had Well, it's got a motor in it. I was including a 39 trans, a real 39 trans plucked from a 39. Not including that anymore because nobody wants the car. And like, I don't know. Reverse eyes. I'm gonna throw a drop axle in it because, you know, I can. What's up, Jacob? But I don't know. Nothing's selling. That's all I'm trying to say. But so I mocked this up the other day on another 32 frame just to kind of see it, and like, it's all here minus a few pieces. This, which is easily made. I don't know. It's the dark side, but the good side. So unfortunately, I can't really show you that. The door hangs on that side for some reason, but it doesn't want to sit up on this side. But you know, doors, cowl, header, quarters, most of the roof, deck lid, and then you get another deck lid, 2 sets of quarters, another back roof section, another header panel, cowl sides, another below deck lid panel, and people aren't even asking about it. Makes no sense. But this is up here now. I want to work on it, but I never have any time to. Soon, I hope. I don't know.
So, what's that spreader bar from?
That's a 32 spreader bar, original.
Really?
Yeah. If the luggage rack one is the one you want, this is just a normal one. But I forgot I had it.
So the luggage rack one's flat?
Yeah, it's straight.
Uh-huh.
Yep, that's what's going on. Gotta get to work. This is the front end for the 32. You know, gotta send that out. Get all nice and chromed. Yeah, happens every time.
He cruises, dude. It's a hot rod.
Hey, Jacob just 5-speed swapped his little S10 here. Let's see. Woo!
Look at that.
Look at that.
We got both sticks in there.
Sick. Oh yeah, you still got this.
Because if I don't have it in park, I can't take my key out of the ignition. So I'm not sure how people get around that.
Take the column out of the other one.
I'm all set with swapping shit on this.
Yeah.
I've done enough. But I did the whole interior, new dash, new seats, new console, obviously. The back is a fucking disaster right now. Because I just like left all the parts in there and stuff.
Oh yeah, extras.
I wanted to drive it so bad.
All the extra parts.
Yeah, I was gonna use like this part off the Blazer, but the pull for the brakes completely different length.
Oh.
And those don't come off. So,
sweet.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Finally.
Yeah, right? Dude, everything I did, there was another problem that came up. Like the day before yesterday, I was gonna drive it, and then I get in it and it won't go into 4-wheel drive. Like, great, I'm stuck at the bottom of my hill, iced in. And I just had to replace the cable that locks the front diff.
So you're all G.
All G, we got 4-wheel drive working good. Dude, it's smooth now too. That cable was messed up for a while.
Oh yeah?
I hit the button and it just goes right in now.
Nice.
Before it would like blink and think about it.
Nice. We are going to be working on 37 Cabriolet at this point of the video. Yesterday I worked on the 36. I'll probably show you a little update on that. But I want to finish what Jacob started here. So he started making the supports for the trunk lid opening. To attach it to the wheel well, attach it to the floor so it's stiff. Doesn't go anywhere, so I can build the sheet metal around it. He isn't feeling well, so he's not here today. So I'm gonna continue, probably finish that. He also made a panel, the tool tray panel that was missing on this car for some reason. He made one. It's not original per stock, but it looks great. Probably not the same shape or anything, but it does the same job. So I'm gonna take that out, put some beads in it, make it look factory. Put it back in there, weld it in. And then I'm gonna start welding in those supports that he made right here. So, you know, a channel with a little lip on it. We just kind of took what was already there and copied it and made it a different shape to suit what we needed. So I'm gonna put those in, and then hopefully I can start cladding all the openings with sheet metal. Take some rough panel dimensions of where I want to cut the panels and make different patches. I think I'm gonna do this in probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. The top catwalk area probably in 3, and I'll probably weld that together as one piece before I weld it in. Maybe, maybe not. I'm kind of thinking about it now, that might be too much to kind of put in at once, but 6 pieces generally, probably what I'm going to make this out of. And it should be pretty straightforward. A lot of power hammer work. I want to try to shape mostly all of it on the power hammer. Work my skills up on the power hammer, because I can do like low crown panels, which that's mainly what this is, but there's a lot of sections that might take a little bit more than like a 36 or a 48 radius that I'm used to doing on that. You can do a lot with a power hammer that I just haven't had the opportunities to make. So I want to try to get my skills up on that. So this is a good starting project for that. It's not crazy shapes I got to make here. It's pretty simple. Some reverse curves, some, you know, some tight radiuses on the ends. We'll figure that out. So yeah, let me just get started. I'm going to start with that tool tray first, bead that, get it welded in. Then I'll work on the supports, make sure the deck lid opening is in the right height where I want it. Then I'll weld the supports in so that's solid. Then I can put the deck lid on there and then get all the shapes flowing with the deck lid and with everything like that. So it's gonna be fun. All right, and for the 36, I think I started recording yesterday. I kind of dropped the ball. I'm sorry, I've been doing that a lot lately. So I've been working on this deck lid and it's really kicking my butt. So here's the center panel I have of the deck lid. Here's the latch part I have here, and I had to like extend it. I still need to fill that gap in or make another angle piece there, graft it in. I had the gaps too tight, so when I put a skin on, there would be like no gap at all. So now, you know, I have it so that there's like a 1/4 inch gap all the way around. This one obviously touching because there's nothing holding it this way. So I can make that gap whatever I want. So it's going to be about a 1/4 inch all the way around. Now that I'm doing the perimeter first, it's coming together better because, you know, I think it's just easier to control the width and the height of it if you just do the perimeter first. And yes, again, I'll say it, it's pretty obvious, but I didn't do that. So here I am. But that's what I was working on yesterday. I got most of the perimeter not rebuilt. I had to kind of cut it off, trim it, fit it here, fit it there. It was a pain. I had to cut all my work up way more than I wanted to. Because this, you know, this isn't just like one piece formed channel here. It's this piece that goes this up and over a little bit, then another piece that goes over and down, and it's welded in the center. Yes, I still have to finish out the welds. This corner piece is 1, 2, 3 pieces. Same thing with this bottom complex, down 2 pieces to make up each corner. I mean each edge, and then I had to split it in half to kind of, I had to extend it. So I split it, added a section, 1/2 inch section, had to cut most of it off because I just needed to go 1/8 of an inch. And I wasn't filling an 1/8 inch gap. So I added some material on, cut it off, re-spliced it on to make it a little bit longer. Because these sections were too wide, but the bottom section was too skinny. I was all over the map on this one. So here's a real world example of YouTube guys don't get it right all the time, or I don't get it right all the time. Some of you guys praise me like, oh, my work's immaculate, this and that, yada yada. It's not always. I don't always hit home runs on everything. This deck lid is gonna look great, but man, did it take me, or is it taking me, way longer than I thought it was going to. And I could have just made a simpler version that didn't look factory, didn't have the factory type bends in it, but he's using the factory, you know, rumble seat in it, so I need the rumble seat to fit on it like factory, and if it doesn't look factory, I don't know. It's not like a trunk lid where you're always gonna see it down. It's a rumble seat where it's gonna be up a lot of the time, and I kind of need it to look a certain way. So here I am, but I'm not working on this today. I'm doing a new approach. I think, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last video or what, or yesterday, or I'll mention it again. I want to try to work on a different project every day. Not for YouTube purposes, but for my business purpose. I'm still trying to figure out the business side of things. I'm not a great businessman. So trying to fit everyone in the schedule, I tried to do like 3 days on this, 3 days on this one, 3 days on that one. And then I just I got in a role of just working on that one project, and then I didn't touch the other ones. So I think I want to at least start off on just working on, I work on this one day. Well, me and Jacob work on this one day, so we kind of hammer out a bunch of work. 2 guys working on it, get a lot done. Next day, 2 guys on this project. Next guy, 2 guys on this project. So today, like I said before, is the 37 Cabriolet project. Unfortunately, Jacob's not here to help with the braces and the tool tray while I get started on the sheet metal, but you know, I'm used to it, working alone. So I'm gonna start off working on that. And This also might be good for YouTube with the video schedule that I want to do. Since I want to do one a week, you'll see every project getting worked on every video essentially, unless there's a halt on a project and I don't get to it, or I don't record me working on said project. That might happen, but at least you'll get like an update or something. Like I updated you on this, what I did on the Decklid. Yes, it wasn't groundbreaking or anything. A lot of fiddly stuff that I didn't record, but at least you know what happened. So yeah, that might be good. And eventually I might start doing, 2 days on said project, and then 2 days on said project, and then 2 days on said project. I don't know, but I think rotating it day by day, easier for my little chimp brain for right now. And we'll see if it works. All right, so first things first, I gotta get this tool tray he put in here out, but I put this on afterwards, and I think it's in the way. So I gotta take this off anyway, so I think I'm just gonna cut these little tacks that Dick Breuer put here when he originally started building this car. Get this out of the way, because that's not gonna work out in this situation now the Decklid's moved up. I need to find a different, I need to build something different for this. So let's get that cut off quickly, and we'll get this out of here. Yeah, this was only held on there by a few tacks, and well, it's also held onto the floor here and the floor at the bottom, so it wasn't just those tacks. But we'll see if we can't do something better with this. Yeah, so this is Jacob's little tool tray. Cool. Put some beads in here. 4 stripes down the center. Call it a day. Alright, so I got this in here, tech screwed in place. So when Jacob was starting this, he cut this ½ inch lower than where he marked it, but I think he marked it in the wrong spot. Because when I put it in place where I want it, it's it's a little lower than where he had it, and all my rosette holes kind of missed the mark. I can see some of the back there. It's just going to be a challenge. I got to make sure that I hit that base metal before I finish off the rosette, because I don't want to miss. I can do it. It's just damn so close. It was so close. That might be a little low. I might be able to raise the right side up a tad. Let's try it. Okay, so that can work. That's better. Yeah, I can do that. Might have to go underneath and kind of level out the bottom side there somehow, but that can work. That's not too bad. That's not terrible. So I'll send this home. I did a little different. I was going to do just beads like here, but the way this panel is shaped, it comes down and wraps underneath. That didn't leave any room for me to make a bead. It was hitting the machine in the Pullmax, and I don't have regular beading dies for my bead roller for some reason. A bead roller doesn't have bead dies. I figured I had the Pullmax, so I didn't need the beading dies, so I didn't get them, which not the end of the world. So I did this instead. I think this looks just as good. Just the ends aren't quite finished. They kind of just fade off, but it's a tool tray. At the end of the day, it's not gonna be seen really at all. So it's not the end of the world. How did he think these were going? I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, so let me pull the welder over here and start rosetting these and put a couple you know, stitch welts down the side. And then once we, you know, do the stuff underneath that we got to do, then I'll tack the bottom when it wraps over to the bottom of the skin, and this back will be solid. So yeah, cool. Rosette, stitches, then I can figure out what he was doing here. Because they're a little tall, I think he was planning more on using what was there. So I think he's a little tall, but I think all I gotta do is I gotta smash this down flat again like he did here. Just continue the flat and trim it, and we'll be good. We'll be all G. So I like that here better. Okay, how am I going? Maybe I can bridge the two between the old panel and the new panel, stick it in the corner, and then that'll also help with the rigidity of things and get it out of the way. So he can, if he wants to use this as a tool tray, he doesn't have these in the way over here, off to the edges. So cool. We'll be off to the races. Once we get these 4 braces on, I can finally put the deck lid on. I'm just a little hesitant to put the deck lid on now because, you know, it's not that sturdy. It's not sturdy at all, actually. It's just held on by clecos and little straps of steel. So I really want to get the braces on here, and then we can start really seeing how things flow and etc. First thing first, I gotta take the remaining braces off of this skin here. Because, yeah, I haven't done that yet. And I gotta do that before I put the braces on. So it shouldn't take too long. Yeah, it's good to see the remnants here. This brace and some remnants here. This brace, cut those off. And that's about it. There's one in the middle here. For some reason, there was just one on this side. Cut those off. Oh, I almost hit myself in the face for that one. Yeah, the welts don't look great on this, so I was thinking I could just crack them off, but it's proving a little more difficult than I thought. Oh, cool. Bondo. Alright. braces out that Jacob put in here. I'm gonna slice them. Hopefully, be able to graft them back on to the other ones. And you know, hopefully things go well. I'm gonna take this over to the bandsaw. We'll chop it up. Actually, we'll do both at the same time. That'll be smart. Well, the other one's a little less scientific, but you know. So just weld that there. And then the other side, but I'll weld this. Then I'll make sure the other one is to the same height. Somehow I gotta figure that out. The ground. Alright, so I'm going to put the Decklid on, see if everything flows and if it fits right. I don't want to get anything else done and then come to find out it doesn't even look right. Let me see from the side. Looks centered. I should air it out just to not be fooled by the downward rake that it has right now because it's up in the air. Okay, we got this. I think, oh, hey, you're way down there. Alright, so the problem, not a problem, it will be fit, it will be addressed, but the issue, I guess I would call it, with doing these, moving the catwalks forward, is this tends to look either too flat or it looks like it goes down. So if you look at it from here, obviously this is lower than this. So it would have to go down to meet this. And obviously that's not good. It wouldn't look right, a whole bunch of stuff, just wrong. So I'm gonna change that, and it's not going to start here, go way, whoops, start here, go way down, and then come over. I'm just gonna have a tiny little, whoop, tiny little lip here, and it'll come down like that. So I'll put this little guy here to show you what I'm talking about. There's something in there. Oh, kind of work around that. The decklid's kind of down because it's sitting on the channel. There's no hinges on it. I can't adjust it up at the moment. So I'm thinking more like that. How am I gonna hold this? Okay, so you see how it's, you can't really see that, but it's gonna come up still from here. This is gonna come, so hard to show this. It's gonna come like that. So it's still gonna flow. Then this is either gonna butt right up to that, or I'm gonna cut these spot welds and I'll just remake this whole piece here and kind of do the same thing, but up more. Because I can very easily do that. I can cut all these spot welds, take this off, and just kind of redo this to shape it, because you can't really lift up this deck lid without the shape really changing, and I don't really want to do that. I kind of want to just, you know, well, I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to make it ugly. So there's more things I have to do to not make it ugly. So that's what I'm doing. All right, so I think I got the deck lid where I want it. It's kind of a mind messer because for some reason this deck lid must not be square, or these deck lids must not be really accurate, because there's only a 2-year deck lid and they didn't make many of them because these were only on, I believe, Club Cabriolets. Maybe they were on coupes. I think coupes and cabriolets, but regular cabriolets had a rumble seat. Most of them had a rumble seat, if not all of them, and they didn't have this style deck lid. They had the style deck lid that I'm making for the 36. I think it's the same, honestly, because every time I get this thing kind of square in one respect, it's out wildly in every other one. So like I tried to, this is the one I kind of focused mainly on, is getting this gap, because this was cut from this. So if this is the same distance here and the same distance there, you know, it should be fine. You know, it just got to mess with the height difference there. And when I did that, this was like way different here and here, and this gap was not the same at all. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me, but I think it looks good, and that's all that really matters. Is it looks good to the eye. It looks like it's centered. I don't have anything welded to the floor, so all the bracing is welded to the opening, but not anywhere else. So I think I'm going to leave it like that for now until I rough out the sheet metal, and then once that's roughed out, everything's either textured or clecoed together, then I can really stand back and see if it still looks right. Because right now it's hard to tell, because there's a lot of open spaces that you can't really, it's hard to visualize it. At least it's hard for me. I'm a bad visualizer. I need to make the thing to be able to see it, which I know it's probably bad in my line of work, but that's, you know, that's how I work. So yeah, let me start cutting out some blanks, some sheet metal, and then get working on this little catwalk area. I know I gotta make a piece like 16 inches ish by 44, and that's going to be this top catwalk area here. Yeah, it's going to be fun. And I did confirm with myself, I'm not going to make this meet into this, because that's not going, it's going to go downhill, and that's not what we want. So, and I know what you're saying, just raise this up. If I raise that up, this line doesn't flow, and this is a factory line. I'm leaving that alone. So luckily, there's room to just go raise this up. So let's get to cutting these blanks. I got sheets of 19 gauge over here, ready to cut. My little saw, since I don't have a, well, my little shear. Since my stomp shear is only like 40 inches wide, I can't put a whole 4x8 sheet, so I kind of stick it here, put a board under the bottom, make a line with my straight edge, you know, go down as straight as I can. And yeah, that's about it. Then I can cut it to size, trim the ends if it's possible, but I don't think I need a factory edge on what I'm doing right now. Close enough is going to be close enough. right, so I cut my blank out and I got it to a point where, you know, it's kind of the rough shape of where I need. Give this a quick wipe down, avoid the burrs. Yeah. All right. All that stuff's gonna get caught in the power hammer. Dies. No good. So, get my wet gloves on. Bobby Walden taught me this. Gotta have your gloves soaked in oil because it will just soak up the oil from your panel, and you'll have to keep oil in it because your gloves are just taking it all. So if your gloves are soaked in oil, it ain't gonna take it. Well, it will, but to a point. Alright, first I'm going to go around lightly and just kind of get rid of the burr that machine left because I couldn't put it in my shear. Okay, now I should be able to kind of start roughing it in. And, you know, this panel doesn't need much, so I'm kind of just going to freestyle it and kind of raise the panel up. I want a little bit more oil. Alright, you can already see that this panel's sitting pretty good, you know, where it needs to go. I do want to put more shape around this corner to let this come down more. It's not touching. Same with this corner. A little more, I think, overall on the edges because it starts to tip over. I want to help that along. Yeah, pretty happy with that so far. Maybe do another pass and smooth it out, but you know, real low crown like this is, I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's not too difficult. As long as you're really even with your hammering, it's not going to look all messed up, and it's going to be pretty strong. So when it gets to complex curves, then it gets a lot more interesting. But just a really low crown panel like this, as long as it's got, you know, strength in it like it does, it's pretty good. So let me get more shape in the edges and then I'll retest. It does have a small, well, actually, it's gonna come up, but I think we're on to something. All right, so getting ahead of myself again on YouTube. I try not to, but I do. So it's gonna be hard to show you because this thing likes to curl up. But essentially, I got this whole pattern out because I'm changing all this. I don't need any of that. I got from this body line up, overlap like an inch or so everywhere, and hopefully I can make it work. So I have a piece of scrap, I would say scrap 19 gauge, but a piece laying around that's like the perfect size. Go right over it and be able to trim. How annoying is that? Trying to work with this. Oh my God. It's a bane of my existence. This is probably one of the main reasons I don't use paper templates, because that is just annoying. It's annoying, but sometimes you need to do it. Maybe it's just the paper I'm using, comes in a roll. I feel like all paper comes in a roll. But yeah, let me get this cut out and then we'll get some preliminary shape in it, see what I need to do, where I need to bend, where I need to yada yada, and we'll get that done. And hopefully I'll be able to show you some techniques. I'll show you some techniques. Not selling a course, never do that. Show you some techniques on how to get some tricky areas with big dies. Show you that, hopefully. Hopefully there'll be some of that. So, just like last time, clean. Big bird here. If I just want, I would slice my palm right open, slowly. You gotta watch out, sheet metal, man. I've been cut many times, but the crux of this whole thing is you feel more when you don't have any gloves on. Sometimes that's good, sometimes that's bad. Most of the time, I feel like it's good. Feel what you're doing, but you know, that it also runs the risk of cutting yourself. But I've cut myself so many times at this point where I don't cut it that often because I'm kind of hyper aware of it now, you know, I guess. So yeah, let's get this template on here, off the floor, and sketch out. All right, so I didn't record it, but I put this edge here through the English wheel with the rubber upper wheel and the, you know, pretty severe, like 2-inch radius or whatever, 3-inch radius die to kind of roll this edge over, and now it's straight. So that's not good because, you know, the back of the car starts to tip down. So I'm gonna take it over to the Pullmax, shrink this edge here to kind of pull this down. This is the catwalk right here, the opening catwalk trunk. So this needs to start dipping down. So I'm gonna shrink a little bit in here and start that curving down. All right, so we're off that. Onto the hard wheels. You know, just want to very light pressure, because with these high crown dies, it's really easy to get a bunch of track marks in your panel, and which I'm currently doing, but trying to be very cautious with it. So very light pressure, you know, don't go everywhere, because you obviously don't need to go everywhere. Might try and tighten this edge up on the power hammer, to be honest. See how now it curves down? I might have to tighten that up a little bit with the shrinker, but I think that's good for now. Do a little test. I think that looks very nice, but I don't have, this is in the way of allowing me to put this all the way down, which kind of sucks, but it kind of is what it is at this point. I might, well actually this isn't allowing me. I could probably move it back, but these Clecos are messing me up. So we'll see if I can move a couple. It doesn't totally move. It wants to move the panel. So this. So let me plant. Okay, well, that works. Let's see if this works. Still not enough, but I think I can get a general feel of what's going on here. So this over here definitely needs to curl over more, you know, which, you know, not a big deal, unless this has got to be less. Could be true. Okay, yeah, that looks right. Now this one's getting in the way. I like it. I just need to. I'm gonna try and, yeah, I guess I'll cut this. So I guess I'm making more pieces. I was trying to do it in one piece, but since this is really like super custom, I really don't know if I can do that. So I'm gonna trim this if I can get this closer to where I want it to be. And then for this lip part that goes up here, I'll probably just have to make that piece and weld. Oh, sorry. For the piece that goes up, I don't know if you caught any of that. Oh, yeah, you caught that. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna trim there. Get it out of the way because I think I need clearance to see if the panel fits more than I need to try and make this whole piece with the lip and everything in one piece. You know, I can, but is it going to be worth the effort? I don't know. So let me trim that out of the way first. As you can see, there's a tight radius right here on this panel. And if I just stuck it in these dies, it would probably crush it and make it flat and, you know, dig up the panel. All the corners of the dies, even though they're, you know, they're smoothed out, would make diggers in the panel, and you don't want that. So what you can do is take it out of form so you have room to do it. So if I bend this up like this, like, you know, kind of make a taco out of it, not a taco this way, a taco this way, this bend will curl out, giving me access to use this. This still might be a little tight for this, but I'm pretty sure I can do it because I want to even out all this lumpiness up here. Yes, I can do it with the planishing hammer. I can do it with the English wheel, and I don't have to take it out of form. I can just use the radius that matches closely, and then I can make an even wider radius and just go this way with an English wheel if I wanted to. I want to get more proficient at the power hammer, so out of form, hammer it, put it back into form, and, you know, we should be smooth. See what happens. See if I can even do it. I know this works. I just don't know if I am skilled enough to do it. So let me try here. You might be thinking, you're just ruining it. You just ruined your panel. See, but now see how flat it is here? I'm pretty sure I can get at it. So let me turn the power hammer on first. That might be a good idea. And then we'll smooth it out, hopefully. See what happens. Now it's smooth. See if I can put it back into shape. Those are a little too slippery for this. I don't want to slip off and slice myself. I'm probably going to use this tire over here to help me get it back into form. So I got these two pieces on here. I still need to add some shape, and I think here needs to raise up some. And I think I got this arc a little wrong. I think it needs to flatten out more here. See, from here it kind of goes down into this, and I kind of need it just to go straight into it. So that's a little, I don't know what I'm going to do here yet. I gotta figure that out. But I might even make this whole section over again, this sheet metal, because I got to cut it here. So I think, I don't know, I need to figure that out. But I'm just trying to rough this out, get it all locked in. I think this piece is going to be next. I think I gotta trim this. I definitely have to trim this bead off, cut it right at the corner. I don't like doing that, but that's how they did it when they replaced it. And I'm not gonna cut here and, you know, weld to all this Bondo and stuff. So I gotta get that out nicely, which is gonna kind of be a little bit of a pain, but we'll get there. So maybe I'll just cut this for now, get this part out of the way, just so I can make this strip all the way down to probably like here. Then have this piece with the bead in it on the bottom. We're still gonna have this bead that comes down, wrap around here, I think. Yeah. So that's how this is. That's how that's done there. So I'm gonna do the same kind of thing on this one. But yeah, I'm not sure if I want to go making this other piece again. I probably should. I should probably just work on that piece, get that all set, so everything on the top's done, and then I'll mess with those pieces later. I was gonna work my way around, but what the heck, I just made one of those. Just make it on the other side. All right, got these on there, just roughed out, just rough shape. Gonna get these roughed out also. A lot more shape in these. Got the other one already on the bench. I just cut it out at the same time, so I got two blanks already. Just need to power hammer them, put a bunch of shape in it. So I'm kind of gonna be hammering it like a banana, like that, probably more, just so when I flatten it back out, the edges start curling up. So hopefully I can do this all stretch. If it starts to take too long, I might have to, you know, put some shrink on the edges to kind of help it out. I might just do that anyway, just to get the ball rolling instead of, you know, sitting there for an hour doing it with all stretch. It's nice to be able to do that, but man, does it take a while. So kind of I gotta remind myself I have to go for efficiency. I do want to do a good product, but I also want to do it fast in a way, so because I got a lot of stuff going on here. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna try to do it fast and good. Alright, so just shrunk the edge, and then I, you know, did one of these numbers to flatten this back out, because when it's straightened out like that, these edges want to curl. So I want it flat because I have pretty flat dies. So take it out of form, 2, put more shape in, bring it back into form, and you'll see the well, I'm putting it out of form to smooth it, and then subsequently I think it's going to have less shape than it did, but I accounted for that. Okay, now let's put shape back in it. Okay. A little more here and there. A little more shrinky here and there. All right, so here it is. Most of it mocked up. Just got the bottom piece left to do. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a bottom piece. I'll try to make that in one piece. It might be a little challenging, but these pieces were overall pretty easy. So I got it flowing good, I think. This, obviously, like I explained before, I got to mess with this light line, move it up a bit, and mess with this. But that's later. I can deal with this. I got a lot to do before I have to deal with that. So, yeah, get everything on here. This side's a little rougher than the other side, just because I wanted to get the whole thing. I wanted to get the whole thing covered, but I couldn't. Didn't have time today to get the whole thing. Missing the bottom, but you know. Ain't no thing. Yeah, I think this side of the deck lid needs to come up, so I'll mess with that a bit. Yeah, I think it's pretty happy here, and I'm pretty happy with it here. Nice big catwalk, like it looks like some kind of Zephyr-ish type thing, or a 36 Roadster's got a big deck lid. Catwalk on it with a big trunk lid. I think this looks pretty good. Looking pretty good, dude. So, looking like a real Cabriolet now. Wouldn't know the difference. So hopefully get back on this pretty soon. I did 2 days on this. I know I said I would do 1 day, but I need to get some work done on this. So I think I'm definitely, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I say that because he is coming down Monday or Tuesday. So if he doesn't come down Monday, I'll try to get that done for him. And if he does come down, he's going to just see it like this, whatever. But so Monday, we're definitely probably going to be on this all day with him, chatting it up. And then this, definitely Wednesday, but maybe Tuesday. I try to get the rest of, the floor pieces cut out. I got to figure out how I'm going to brace it so I can swap the sub rails out, cut these out, cut the corners, replace the corners. We got new corners just because, it was literally cheaper to buy the corner because we got to, remove these spot welds and everything, and there's some old repairs in here. Might as well, they're cheap enough, just do the corners while we're doing everything else. So, yeah, gonna be doing that. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be next week for sure. I hope to finish this deck lid next week too. Finish the perimeter and just skin it, which I'm close. I got 3/4 of the surround done, and the inside's just the inside. It's just pretty much boop, that's it. Then skin, and hopefully I can get this bottom done on this, at least mocked up like the way everything else is, just kind of clamped and cleat-coed. And yeah, be rocking, dude. That's all I got for this week in the shop. Reliance Customs signing out. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully.